Take a breath, Heat Nation, because it's all finally over. By the way, it's Taro Boba. If you never heard of it, it's real good. Trust me, a lot of people sleep on it. But anyway, before we continue, I guess I should be removing this sign right here, and I'm going to act like that was never there because I never doubted you, Tyler Hero. Definitely never doubted you. Anyways, how we feeling, Heat Nation? Who am I kidding? I know how y'all feeling. I was tuned into the Basement Sports Network Spaces on Twitter with like 500 viewers. Nearly everybody is very, very mad. I'm more disappointed. I'm not mad. I'm disappointed. But anyways, where to begin? Some interesting stuff happened today. Damian Lillard is a Milwaukee Buck. I thank Joe Cronin for waiting till I was back from vacation so I could get this instant reaction video out, or at least as instant as we can get. The trade was a few hours ago, so if something comes out that hasn't happened yet, it's because it's my instant reaction. Just got home from work, was at the office working on some little stuff, and I get a text from my boy Preston, who just sent me a frowning emoji. And immediately my heart sank because I knew that could only mean one thing. So the one part of the day that I wasn't constantly refreshing Twitter, which is what I've been doing for the last 87 days. Shout out to my other boy, Miami Clutch PE on Twitter for keeping track for the rest of us. But the one time I'm not refreshing Twitter is when Dame gets traded. Of course, I see the news and I see it's to the Milwaukee Bucks. My initial reaction was I was a little bit sick, mostly just because it's something that I so desperately thought was going to happen. And I really, really wanted it. I'm not one of the Heat fans that's I think we're going to be terrible now that he's gone. Now, I desperately wanted him. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you now that we didn't get him and say, oh, I never wanted him. He's a trash rapper, old ass. No one wanted his ass. No. I wanted him. But I still think this Heat team has a chance to be good without him. But maybe we'll get into that a little bit later. But obviously, I was a little bit sick. I was very disappointed, and I'm certainly scared because no doubt about it, I think the Milwaukee Bucks are the best team in the league. So human nature, right, is we want someone to blame. So a lot of Heat fans, they're taking the approach to blame Pat Riley. That's pretty much what I've seen 90% of the time, which certainly all the blame may go to him. But I'm more so taking the reserved approach of I want to see what was even offered by Pat Riley to begin with. Because when you look at this package that the Portland Trailblazers got, which I guess I didn't even go over the package, right? So the Bucks get Damian Lillard, the Blazers get Drew Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, and 1 first-round pick. Now they'll probably flip Drew Holiday for something else down the line. That remains to be seen. But they get Drew, Ayton, 1 pick, and the Suns get Jusuf Nurkic, Nasir Little, Keon Johnson, and Grayson Allen. So on the surface, doesn't look like the Blazers get a whole lot. I mean, you're talking an older Drew Holiday who said he's going to retire when his contract's done. DeAndre Ayton, who was the first pick in the draft, but obviously has a lot of faults, specifically being soft. But I still think he has some potential. And then they get 1 first-round pick, which is 1 less than Miami was even able to offer. Miami had 2 available first-round picks without bringing in a third team. So my initial reaction is, well, this package is not very good. I think Miami can beat this package, even if it was just the reported package of Tyler Hero and 2 first-round picks and nothing else. I at least think it's on par with this deal. And I personally find it hard to believe that Pat Riley could just concede Nikola Jovic and or Jaime Jaquez or Caleb Martin. I find it hard to believe that Pat didn't put more of our prospects on the table, but nobody really knows. Now, there's a couple conflicting reports. Are not necessarily conflicting. We just don't really know the timeline of things because we heard that Pat Riley didn't feel the need to up his offer. He more so just put his offer out there and said, this is my maximum price. You either accept it or you don't. But then we heard other reports saying that the Portland Trailblazers never let Miami know what their offer was from Milwaukee, which fine. It's not the responsibility to say, hey, Milwaukee, this is what else we're getting out there. Let us know if you can beat it. Portland doesn't have to do that. Now, I think it would have been a good negotiation tactic because that's how you negotiate. You tell people what offers you got, and then that's how you try to get people to outbid each other. How can Pat Riley outbid the Milwaukee Bucks if he never knew their offer? So that's where you get a little bit of the confliction there because they say Pat Riley didn't up his offer, but then he didn't know Milwaukee's offer. So I'd like to believe that Pat gave everything up that he could, and at the end of the day, it was just Joe Cronin being petty. At least that's what I'm led to believe by the package he received, right? But I guess I should ask Portland Trailblazers fans. Obviously, we've had a long discussion over the last 87 days. By the way, greatly appreciate all the Heat fans, all the Trailblazers fans, and all just the NBA fans who've watched this channel. It's grown truly exponentially in the last 2.5, 3 months. We got monetized over here, over 2,000 subs. So the growth has been phenomenal. So thank you, Damian Lillard, for carrying that for a while. And of course, I'll continue putting all the great NBA, Miami Heat, Miami Dolphins content on this channel. So subscribe if you enjoy, just to get the quick promo out of the way. But what do you think, if there's any Portland Trailblazers fans watching this video, what do you think of the package? Do you think it's fair value? Do you think it's better than what Miami could offer? And then even independent of that, are you happy with the deal? You may think Miami's offer was better, but maybe you were tired of all the annoying Heat fans like myself, and you're just glad that Dame went elsewhere while still having a chance to compete. Because like I said, Milwaukee, the best team in the league, I don't think anybody is beating that team, right? Of course, if they stay healthy. So I want to hear from the Portland fans. What do you think? I want to hear from the Heat fans, and I want to hear from the Suns fans. How is everybody feeling about the package right now that this deal was? Because as a Heat fan, I was shocked, especially seeing what the return was. I certainly was shocked. So my other initial reaction was hoping that Dame would somehow sit out of camp, even though I knew he wouldn't, because the Bucks are obviously a contender. All these other clips came out and tweets of him saying he'd love to play with Giannis and this and that. And then we got Dame reposting a Photoshop on his Instagram. And then on his Twitter, he said he's excited for the next chapter at Bucks. So that basically put all the thoughts of him sitting out of camp out the window. Which is good, because I don't want to have to deal with, we already dealt with this rumors for the last 3 months. I don't want to have to deal with more rumors. I want to have our roster, finally get it set, and then finally be able to start working on improving that. Joke also got noted here. Aaron Goodwin, which is of course Damian Lillard's agent, he did come out and say that Miami gave all they could offer. It was essentially, they did their best to get Dame. That's what he said. So even that alone makes me feel better about Pat Riley in the front office. But at the end of the day, it still sucks, right? So I'm not sitting out here trying to yell at Pat Riley, put him in the nursing home like a lot of people, although I get the frustration, because what Miami has always needed is for someone to do what Jimmy Butler did. Say, I want to go to Miami, because given our cap situation and all these other things, that's the only way you can get someone. And Damian Lillard, more than any player I've ever seen, has said, except Victor Oladipo, if you remember a few years ago, but Dame said, I want to be in Miami, nowhere but Miami. Dame did his part, and Pat Riley could not seal the deal. So at the bottom line, I don't care what Joe Cronin says, that is a failure on Pat Riley's part. But is it his fault? I don't really know. So as I'm talking about reports contradicting themselves, I know I'm contradicting myself as well, because there's a lot of thoughts going on right now, of course, but we truly don't know whose fault it is. Maybe we will get an official Miami package that has that will leak at some point, and then we can kind of judge from there. Because if it was always Hero 2 first and I'm never going up from there, that's a failure on Pat Riley's part, because I would have given up everything to get Damian Lillard, because you're winning this league with stars. And Damian Lillard is elite. He is the definition of a superstar. You don't win in this league with young guys like Jaime Jaquez and Nikola Jovic. So I've always been willing to give them both up if necessary, which in this case it was necessary, because Dame is not in Miami and it didn't get done. So I am curious to see whose fault it is, but I do get all the Heat fans that are sad today and mad at Pat Riley. A lot of them saying they're not gonna watch the games no more. I'm not here to tell no one how to fan. I'll be watching every game. I'm a Heat fan whether they suck, and they were 11-30 that year, and I was watching every single game until they got Okara White and then finished 30-11. But I'm watching every single game whether they suck or whether they ass, just like I've watched the Dolphins for the last almost 15 years now when they sucked. And now you see we here, of course, I got my Dolphins shirt on, and we got a monster game versus the Buffalo Bills on Sunday, which also has me, is a reason I'm not as mad as I might be, because I got something else to look forward to. So shout out to Miami Dolphins, man. Please don't let me down. But you know what I'm talking about. Once again, you see the Miami Dolphins shirt here. What else do we got? Jimmy Butler put out the video on his IG basically saying someone needs to look into the Bucks for tampering, and Tyler here retweeted that video. I thought it was jokes. A lot of people aren't taking it like jokes because Jimmy wasn't necessarily smiling. But we'll see what happens with that. It certainly is frustrating because Jimmy Butler very clearly wanted Dame, and of course Bam Adebayo wanted Dame, and the front office should do everything they can to appease their superstars. just like the Milwaukee Bucks did, right? Because a couple days ago, we heard Giannis say he'd be willing to leave if they are not a contending team, right? So what does the front office do? They don't play around. They get their guy a superstar to win right away. And now, so that double kills Miami, right? Because there was reports Miami might go after Giannis if they don't get Dame. Can't do that anymore because Giannis is certainly not going to want to leave. You know, if everything goes how I expect it to, which is that team is going to be very, very successful. Whether they win or not, they're going to be contenders. So Dame will be happy. Giannis will be happy. So you can't get either one of those guys. So it is frustrating as a Heat fan. That organization did everything they can to make their star happy, including them getting Jrue Holiday back a couple years ago, which led to a championship. Because back then, Jrue was also a guy that I was interested in as a Heat fan. And now we're sitting here with the Miami Heat, and they've really yet to get Jimmy Butler any help. Of course, they got him his guy, Kyle Lowry, which could partly be Jimmy's fault because he wanted him. But of course, Kyle Lowry completely sucks. So I don't think the Bucks were tampering or anything like that. I do believe that Jimmy and Tyler Hero are joking. But at the same time, I think Jimmy is at least frustrated because we know he wanted Dame. And we know the front office hasn't really helped him a ton. Although they have been to 2 of the last 4 NBA finals, which is giving me hope that this team will probably be really good next year. Of course, last year was a weird season because they were 5 minutes from missing the playoffs, but then they made the NBA finals. But I'm more of a what have you done for me lately type of guy. And what they've done for me lately is make the NBA finals. You lost Gabe Vincent, you lost Max Strus, but you did get guys like Josh Richardson and Thomas Bryant, who I like a lot, and Nikola Jovic, who I'm super high on after the FIBA run, and Jaime Jaquez Jr., who I loved in Summer League as well in the couple games he's played. But from what I've heard, at 22 years old, he's ready to compete right now, and I am really excited to see that. Not to mention, you still got Bam and Tyler, who are very young, and the internal improvement can make your team better. And the same story that we've been talking about for the last 3 years when we talk about, dare I say, running it back. So I'm not saying this team can be finals contenders again, because it gets to a point when you have the virtual same build, guys start to get tired of each other, and you need some actual new life injected into the team, which, yeah, they got some new pieces, but it's more so younger guys. It's still the same core of Jimmy, Tyler, and Bam that we've seen for what will be the 5th year now. So, but they're not going to miss the playoffs. That's my point. And I believe in Tyler Hero, man. He was liking some stuff over the last couple of days that may lead people to believe that he's a little bit disgruntled. But I before that, we saw him working out with Bam in the Miami Pro League. We saw him working out with Chris Quinn. He was doing the spaces with Chef Trilly, one of the biggest Heat fans on Twitter. So I'd like to believe that he'll come to training camp ready to work, because that's all he ever does. Yeah, he likes the glitz and glamour life and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, he's a very, very hard worker, and we've heard nothing different about that. So I have no reason to believe he won't come into training camp ready to prove everybody wrong with a chip on his shoulder. And for that reason, I think Tyler Hero will be in for a really, really big year, which the Heat will need. So unless they get Jrue Holiday, which will help a lot, obviously immediately his name was thrown out there because Portland's looking to flip him. But if Portland didn't want to deal with us for Dame, I'm not sure they would deal with us for Jrue. But either way, I'd love Jrue here. I mean, they could use a guy exactly like him. He's kind of a better Gabe Vincent. I guess people may not like the comparison, but they're both guards that could score a little bit and they could defend perimeter. That's kind of where I was going with that. It also said that Philly's interested in Jrue Holiday, which would terrify me. But then Jimmy Butler did son Jrue Holiday last year, so maybe I shouldn't be scared of Jrue Holiday. But either way, I like the man. This Heat team, I don't think this is the final rendition of this Heat team we'll see going into the season, because they don't have a point guard outside of Kyle Lowry, if you count that. They'll have to get someone there. They'll have to pick up some of these free agents we've been talking about, like TJ Warren or Javonte Green, or I would have liked Rudy Gay. He just signed to the Warriors, though. They'll have to get some of these guys to fill out the roster because they still have some open roster spots. So I'll be interested to see what happens within the next week until we have training camp. So I'm sorry we didn't get Damian Lillard. I owe everyone an apology. I was wrong, dead wrong, could not have been more wrong. I'm man enough to say it. Joe Cronin, you a petty ass bitch. Like the video. I'll see y'all next time. Peace out. This one goes out to Joe Cronin. He is an ugly, bald-headed hoe who don't know shit, won't pick up the phone, so I'll tell you how it's going. First off, get your head out your ass, and if you think you keeping Dame, ha ha ha, I'ma laugh. It was a couple years back, he said he's loyal for life, but you're a liar, he's tired, and in his back is your knife. You think you winning and swindling with the Heat. You got for fetish, you always end in defeat. If you Lord of the Flies, then Pat is Lord of the Fleas. But you still think you Woody with Andy down at your feet. You haven't heard, Andy Ellisberg will not be deferred. You like Verb, haven't said a word, phone on don't disturb. You absurd, Portland kicks you to the curb, it's deserved for finishing third when the 3-team trade for Dame confirmed.
Pat, take his nuts, dragging balls on your face. Kamehameha, kids is here to stay. You give us Dame, but we also keeping Jovic. And if Pat wanted to, he also would take yo bitch. Slip back his hair, that's something you cannot do. And then pipe your girl in his Armani suit. The next day she'll beg for Pat back and he will not show up. He went balls deep then left just like he Tungo Vailoa. Cronin, I'm candid, I'll tell you I can see your future is grim like in Billy and Mandy. If you do Dame dirty like Dirty Dan Sandy, who's sleeping like Pat, now I'll pass it to Andy.
I got a problem with you, here's the matter, dude. I'm kinda mad at you, I'm mad at you because your attitude is getting rather rude. Show gratitude to Dame cause you never made it seems better. His two longest tenured teammates are Harkless and Myers Leonard, who are bums.
Yes, Heat fans know that they both suck. Tell me, Joe Cronin, what is it you want? You said now is winning time, but you won all the picks. I wish you'd make up your mind instead of making me sick. Where the hell you at, Joe? Where you at? Where the hell you at, Joe? Where you at? Where the hell you at, Joe? Where you
What
at?
you gonna do, Joe?
Where the hell you at, Joe? Where you at? Where the hell you at, Joe? Where the hell you at? Where the hell you at, Joe? Where the hell you at? Where the hell you at, Joe? Where the hell you at? Where you at, Joe? Where the fuck are you at, man?
This song sucks. I mean, this guy gotta get a life, bro. I mean, what is he even doing with himself?